Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your. Do the Warriors have enough assets to make a deal with the Bucks and land star Giannis Antetokounmpo? Yes, they do. The Warriors have players and picks that would certainly please the Bucks. Bringing Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Warriors would be a huge gift for the fans and for Stephen Curry, who wants to be a champion before he retires. NBA rumors, Warriors and Bucks make big deal, Giannis Antetokounmpo will team with Stephen Curry. With the playoffs right around the corner, the Golden State Warriors should prioritize a deep postseason to appease Stephen Curry and their newly acquired star, Jimmy Butler. If the franchise fails to make a statement, they could rescue a Milwaukee Bucks star forward and NBA champion in the offseason and keep Butler and Curry's title window open. Should the Bucks want to part ways with Giannis Antetokounmpo, the team is surely going to have a huge asking price for him, Clutch Point Spencer C. wrote Monday. One of the teams that can accommodate that request is the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors found a way to preserve their youth when they dealt for Jimmy Butler at the 2025 trade deadline, giving up Andrew Wiggins and Kyle Anderson. But if they were to pursue a generational talent like Giannis, they might have to surrender their building blocks this time around. The Warriors can send out an offer led by Draymond Green to go along with youngsters Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. Buddy Hield and 2 first-round draft picks should spice up the deal for the Bucks. Although Green would be the most decorated player in that package, the real prizes for Milwaukee will be Kuminga and Moody. Both of them are only 22 years old and have shown a ton of promise. For clarity, C's trade proposal would send Green, Gary Payton II, Hield, Kuminga, Moody, a 2026 first-round draft pick, and a 2028 first-round draft pick to the Bucks for Antetokounmpo and Tyler Smith. Although the Bucks overcame a 24-point deficit against the Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday and secured a monumental late-season 7-point victory, the organization is unlikely to make noise in the playoffs without Damian Lillard. The former Portland Trail Blazers star guard is nursing a blood clot in his right calf, which could potentially cause him to miss the entire postseason. Antetokounmpo, who is only 30 years old, may change his stance regarding retiring with the Bucks if the organization doesn't secure a spot in the Eastern Conference Finals this year. With Antetokounmpo and Curry's mutual respect, valuable championship experience, and reputation for thriving as top-scoring options, imagining the Greek freak in the Bay isn't challenging. Antetokounmpo averages 30.4 points, 11.9 rebounds, 6.4 assists, and 1.2 blocks this season, shooting 60.2% from the field. Jimmy Butler must rewrite harsh narrative for Warriors to have any playoff hopes. Playoff Jimmy must return. As the Golden State Warriors approach their final week of the regular season, with matchups against the Phoenix Suns, San Antonio Spurs, Portland Trail Blazers, and Los Angeles Clippers pending, they need to run the gauntlet in order to have a chance at home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. Coming off a brutal loss against the Houston Rockets, in which Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler were held to a combined 16 points, the Warriors need their stars more than ever. In a competitive Western Conference, which could provide any number of difficult first-round matchups for Golden State, the franchise needs Butler its team-altering trade deadline acquisition to find his infamous playoff form as soon as possible in order for them to have any hopes at a deep playoff run. The Warriors need playoff Jimmy ASAP. Anthony Slater of The Athletic commented on Monday to 95.7 The Game's Willard and Dibbs about the signs of Butler's age which have shown in his time with the Warriors. Jimmy's older. He doesn't have that pop and lift to the rim, Slater said. He's hesitant at times to take challenge shots in traffic against size. The jumper just hasn't been there. He's never been your traditional superstar scorer. While Butler's uncanny ability to draw contact has helped open up the Warriors' offense since his arrival to the team, his hesitancy to truly drive into contested layups has been one of the only downsides of his game. Since Golden State acquired the 35-year-old and handed him a 2-year, $111 million contract extension immediately following the trade, it is evident that they trust him to make the necessary adjustments come playoff time. Across 64 playoff games with the Miami Heat, in which Butler took his team on two improbable runs to the NBA Finals, he averaged 24.7 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 5.7 assists, all of which sit well above his career numbers. While Butler has never been a pure scorer at the level of someone like Curry, the manner in which he elevates his game in the most important moments is the quality that has aided him in his playoff success and the trait that the Warriors hope will manifest quickly. The 6x All-Star is averaging 17.2 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 5.9 assists through 26 games with Golden State, having seen a dip in his overall scoring numbers over the past 2 seasons, yet routinely making up for this deficit through his willingness to make winning plays. With a combination of a fully unleashed Butler, a version of Curry who's playing at an All-NBA first-team level, and a Defensive Player of the Year Draymond Green, the Warriors could hard to stop in this year's playoffs. But first, Butler will need to overcome any signs of aging he might be showing down the stretch. Golden State Warriors Dream, Nightmare Seeding, Matchup Scenarios for 2025 NBA Playoffs. Steph Curry's ready for any playoff scenario. It's no secret that the Jimmy Butler trade saved the Golden State Warriors season. Going 22-6 since Butler joined the team back in February, the Warriors are in a prime position to make a deep postseason run. A huge part of the Warriors' success in the playoffs will depend on how the Western Conference playoff bracket shakes out. With seeds 3 to 8 up for grabs, it's a mess to predict who the Warriors will match up against in the opening rounds. But the Warriors are a battle-tested, experienced team that knows the intricacies of a 7-game playoff series. Led by a surging Stephen Curry and DPOY favorite Draymond Green, the Dubs will always have the 304 career playoff games to lean on when the going gets tough. Add in the legendary playoff Jimmy and the coaching brilliance of Steve Kerr, and the Warriors will always have the edge when it comes to experience. That leadership will be critical for a couple of Warriors players. The Dubs are relying heavily on the contributions of their young core, specifically Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga. Podziemski's offense, in particular, has exploded since the addition of Butler. In the last 10 games, Pods is averaging 18.8 points on 51.4% shooting from beyond the arc. And Moody has become a reliable 3-and-D wing for the Dubs, a far cry from his DNPs earlier this season. Kuminga, on the other hand, is the Warriors' wild card. At his best, he gives the Warriors uber athleticism and explosiveness. At his worst, he muddies the offense and gets lost in the deep Dubs rotation. He is so key to raising Golden State's ceiling, especially in matchups where the Warriors are lacking in size and length. Warriors' dream playoff scenarios. For the Warriors, the bare minimum of a dream playoff scenario is any scenario that involves them not playing in the dreaded play-in tournament. Golden State has never gotten out of the play-in when forced to go through those extra games. But it's not even about the danger of playing for their season, it is more about losing the extra week of rest in between the regular season and the postseason. The Warriors are an older team, and an extra game or two comes with many risks. Injuries, fatigue, lack of prep, all of that spells a nightmare for the Warriors should they fall into the play-in. But barring a date in the play-in, the Warriors have 2 dream matchups that they would be happy to get. The first is the Memphis Grizzlies. It's no secret that everyone in the West is looking to play them, especially after they've slid down to 7th in the last couple of weeks. The Grizzlies are a very familiar opponent for the Warriors, so they'll know how to attack them. Without Dillon Brooks, the Grizzlies will rely on Scottie Pippen Jr. to slow down Curry. Jalen Wells would have been part of that as well, but he suffered a gruesome injury against the Charlotte Hornets. Not to mention the fact that the Dubs always seem to exploit Jaren Jackson Jr.'s foul trouble habits. The Warriors wouldn't mind seeing a Grizzlies team without former head coach Taylor Jenkins. The other dream matchup might come as a surprise, but the Denver Nuggets look very vulnerable. Sure, a month ago, it seemed like the Nuggets were serious Warriors' kryptonite. With the unstoppable Nikola Jokic outsizing every Warriors player in the interior, combined with the dominant win they had over the Dubs without him, they do seem like an unfavorable matchup on paper. However, they are another team trending down right now. With former head coach Michael Malone out, Denver is sure to feel the effects of missing a championship-level coach. Paired with Jamal Murray's availability being in question, the Nuggets are down key playoff experience right now. They just seem vulnerable. Their defense is slipping. Russell Westbrook has become a disaster over the last week and they don't have the personnel to chase Curry for 7 games. It's shades of the 2022 playoffs. The Warriors attacking Jokic with Curry every possession while betting on Green to bother Jokic enough to get by them. The Oklahoma City Thunder are an obvious nightmare matchup. They are a nightmare for pretty much every team in the West. They have Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, and Cason Wallace to throw at Curry for an entire series. That just seems like an exhausting time for the 37-year-old, which will force other Warriors to step up on offense. But beyond OKC, the Los Angeles Clippers also seem like a tough opponent. The Clippers are one of the few playoff teams that can match the Warriors in postseason experience. Kawhi Leonard has always been a tough Dubs opponent, even if he is a wild card health-wise. And James Harden, for all his playoff shortcomings, is playing some of his best basketball right now. He still has the ability to foul a team out all by himself. And this isn't even mentioning their depth. The Clippers have the size, length, and athleticism to stymie the Warriors. Ivica Zubac and Norman Powell just always seem to kill the Dubs. Zubac has averaged 16 points and 15.3 rebounds against the Warriors this season, while Powell has averaged 23 points on 54% shooting. Plus, they also have depth to throw at Curry while still sparing Leonard for Butler. Chris Dunn is a menace. Derrick Jones Jr. has the length and size to chase Curry for stretches. We might even see some Ben Simmons taking the big assignment as a Tyronn Lue wrinkle. As for the rest of the matchups for the Warriors, they could go any way. The Los Angeles Lakers are by no means an easy playoff matchup. The LeBron James, Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves three-headed Hydra can just destroy any defensive game plan at any time. However, they do seem more vulnerable to Curry and the Dubs than in years past. The recent West Coast showdown was revealing in how the Warriors attacked the Lakers' defense. Without Anthony Davis, Golden State got whatever they wanted in the paint. Back cuts, back screen drives, offensive rebounds, the Warriors' offense looked so much smoother against an AD-less Lakers defense. The Rockets came up earlier in this article, and they're also tough. Their youth and athleticism is certainly a recipe to get at Curry. If Thompson can contain Curry for 7 games, Houston has a chance to knock off the Warriors. But that's a big if, and they have their own offensive issues. Their fourth-quarter offense is still a bit of a mess. They have no go-to scorer for those much-needed baskets down the stretch. Jalen Green has been better as of late, but he's never been in the last 5 minutes of a critical playoff game. Alperen Sengun has tussled with Green, but he also lacks playoff experience and can't exactly set himself up in the post all by himself. But regardless of who the Warriors play, it won't be easy. The fun thing about the Western Conference this season is the unprecedented parity. 8 teams have a legitimate shot of getting to the finals if things break right.